Hey ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos, and today we're going to be unboxing and giving my first impressions of Meta's Raybans? Raybans Meta Wafers? Whatever you want to call them. So if you don't know what these are essentially Meta's collaboration with Rayban to provide a AI sort of smart glasses that are kind of mixed reality coupled with Meta's AI assistant or their voice assistant. This is coming off of the back of, what was originally Google Glass back in the day to then evolve into, Snapchat's iteration of these kind of glasses to now Meta or Facebook, who also, of course, owns Instagram, and kind of tying all of that in with the AI voice assistant trends and kind of mixed reality in a brand that's very associated and known when it comes to lifestyle and sunglasses. So excited to take a look at these. These were a gift for me this year during the holiday season. So let's go ahead and get to unboxing here. So they come in different kind of Ray-Ban styles. In this case, you have the Wayfarer, very classic, silhouette. We're going to go ahead and unbox that. You can say there it says listen, call, live stream. And we'll go ahead and open it here. Looks like you have a little QR code to set up. And then inside, you have the glasses. I will say the unboxing experience, very smooth. So here you have this kind of smart case that is, your typical sunglass case to protect them, of course. But you also have your USB-C port down there at the bottom, as well as it looks like a button. I'm assuming that's to, oh, wow. That's to see the battery status, I would assume, of the sunglasses here, which is a weird thing to say. But you pop that off here, and you have a tab to go ahead and pull the glasses out. So let's go ahead and do that. That worked pretty well. That didn't pull it out at all. So here we have it. Again, they look like just normal Ray-Bans, and again, that's the big appeal here. And you have these kind of covers on the side. So let's take this off. And then for all intents and purposes, like from the front looking at them, I kind of fold them up here. These are just the classic silhouette of Ray-Bans. Again, these are the Wayfarers. They do come in different colors, different styles, and different lens options. So you can get like transition lenses, you can get kind of clear lenses, and all sorts of different kind of models there to kind of customize it. Oh, that's crazy. It's like talking and whatnot. But you have the classic like Ray-Ban, obviously logos and design, but obviously you also have these cameras on the left and right there. The Meta branding is actually pretty minimal. It's more so inside. So you can see here on the temples of the glasses, you have the little logos. If I can kind of zoom in here for you. So you kind of see the logos there for Meta's kind of branding, but pretty inconspicuous outside of that. Like if you don't necessarily notice the cameras, and especially on these black models where it kind of blends in, you would, for the most part, just think these are normal Ray-Bans. Now, if you noticed earlier when I turned it on, it did have sort of LEDs, and you can see that one right there, the inside LED. So that one looks like an indicator light, which I'm assuming will kind of showcase if it's charging or certain, notifications and whatnot. And I believe it has some sort of touch sensitive. Yeah, you can see here on the top right there, capacity for using it as a button. So this is like a button that you'd use to activate the assistant and whatnot. And if you didn't also hear earlier, there are speakers. I don't see them predominantly. I'm assuming here on the bottom of the temples, you have these little lines and dots. I'm assuming that's for the microphones and speakers. I have tested these in store, and they do sound pretty decent when they're like sitting on your face, much louder than you'd think, while at the same time not being as loud to those around you. But with that, I think the only thing left to do is actually just try them on here. And as you can see, for all intents and purposes, these are just normal sunglasses, at least just on my face right now. And I think the black does well in kind of masking the cameras, but there is an indicator light to let people know when you're recording and whatnot for privacy's sake. But as far as setup, I think you do have to download the app, which I just downloaded. So it's called the Meta View application here. I'm going to go ahead and get started and set up here. So you can continue, notably, you can continue with your Facebook account or your Instagram account. I'm going to go ahead and do it with my Instagram account here since it's all kind of tied. Obviously, if you're getting this, you have one of those two accounts or you're willing to sign up. kind of a la Oculus with their kind of Meta Quest headsets and VR headsets, it is, forcing you to tie into that ecosystem. You can't necessarily just set it up without one of those accounts. So this is something that you're going to have to be in that ecosystem if you have privacy concerns with that sort of thing. Keep that in mind. Obviously, partnering with a brand like Rayban, it kind of helps with the not just the trust factor, but it's a well-known, reputable brand when it comes to like sunglasses and whatnot. So obviously that helps with the kind of transition there, and the look and appeal of the glasses. So in the app, it's asking me which one I'm setting up. They have Rayban Stories and the Rayban Meta, which includes, I believe, the AI assistant and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and go Rayban Meta. Tells you to remove the tab to begin. In this case, it tells you to leave these inside the case so they can power on and charge. Okay, at this point, it's just doing the setup phase, and it's kind of showing you some ideas and samples of what you can do. So while I was looking at the glasses here, I actually noticed on the opposite end here, you have a little physical toggle switch, if I can see that right there. So this toggle right there, I'm assuming is for muting and unmuting. I'm not sure if it's necessarily for the camera. Let me see if that physically does anything with the camera. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's for the microphone. So my assumption is this is going to go ahead and mute and unmute. Sorry, hard to get in frame there. The microphone that's built in to these sunglasses. In terms of like actual build quality, as somebody who has a bit of sunglasses and has bought multiple pairs of Raybans in the past, these feel like Wayfarer Raybans. These feel like your typical Raybans. Obviously, the hinges and stuff feel good, but they are a little bit just ever so slightly heavier than your typical sunglasses, and that's just because you have, I'm assuming, all the technology that's kind of built in to these sides right here. But for the most part, these would just fit, and I could wear these just like any other pair of sunglasses, right? Alrighty. Now it's going to walk me through what it's called the basics. So I guess I got to put on the sunglasses here. And it is trippy because like I can hear the speaker here on my temple and near my ears. And I think it does a good job of not making that sound leak too much. So it says take a photo. You just got to press this physical capture button once. So let's go ahead and take a photo of what I'm looking at now. And you hear this little sound there to confirm it's taken a photo. It does say the LED blinks to show others that you're doing that, so there's that kind of privacy angle. And this is me recording a video with the Meta Raybans. Looking at the iPhone here. Back up at you all in the viewfinder. And I'm going to go ahead and press it again to stop the capture. And you do get that audible cue when you do that. So you can play music with this apparently. So on the right here, I believe this is also touch sensitive, and it says I can just tap this once to play music. And I'm hearing, I'm assuming, was that my Spotify that I was hearing with Bluetooth? Adjusting the volume, you just scroll just like that, so that kind of touch gesture that we're kind of used to. You can do that. Those are the basics in terms of navigation. Your physical button press, hold, and then your touch sensitive side here, where you can do all sorts of other stuff, I'm imagining here, to kind of learn how to use it more. It automatically found the media I took, and it's allowing me to import them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and import them into the Meta Gallery, some photos, and then I will showcase here. You can see what the photos look like earlier. This is the photo I took, which is actually very blurry, so that's interesting because I guess I don't really know when I'm capturing the photo, like unless I look at the phone, how it actually looks like. Like it looks fine to me, obviously looking through the glasses, but in this case it's interesting because that was blurry. But this is me recording a video with looking at the video. I will say it looks pretty smooth looking at it in the video, and again that POV style. Again, we can try some of the voices and stuff. So let's go. Hey Meta. Oh, so there's a little ding there. What time is it in Japan?
In Tokyo, Japan, it is 11:54 a.m.
So there you go. That worked. Again, I don't know how that volume translates to what you can hear. I'm going to try to get closer to the mic here and kind of stand to the side. Let's try something else. Hey Meta, what's the tallest mountain in the world?
Mount Everest at 8,800.
So it gives a lot of information there. Not only does it answer my question, kind of gives a little bit of context and whatnot. But I guess the idea there is like if you are out and about doing things, seeing things, you can ask the assistant questions. So as long as your phone has a signal in which it can Bluetooth to and then pull that data. So I thought it was only fitting to wrap up my initial impressions here while wearing the Meta Rayban smart glasses here. And I've spent the last hour or so kind of tinkering with them and messing about with them. And again, initial impressions as somebody who did not know a lot about this going forward, other than my original demo and actually seeing them launch in store. I wasn't even anticipating getting these. These were a gift, which is the perfect gift because it was something that I was interested in, but maybe not quite necessarily enough to pull my own trigger on it. So here's what I think so far. It doesn't take a full review or for me to use these products for a length of time to tell you that these are a niche product. These are not something I would recommend to just everyone or say go out and get these, because they're for very specific type of people, and for, I would argue, if you're even for creators, a very specific type of creator who wants this. This is not an everybody product. This is Meta expanding into this space and going into a space that eventually I think will become more and more mainstream and evolve, much like this design has evolved from things like Google Glass or Snapchat Spectacles or even the original Rayban stories. Meta was smart to partner with a brand that's classic and iconic like Rayban, because it makes the design, the appeal, the kind of fashion forward or sense of style more lifestyle forward. It makes it more digestible in a space, in a product that isn't going to be just, appealing to everybody walking around with a camera and whatnot on your face. Speaking of the camera, it is a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which I did look into the tech specs. Decent quality, great in like real light, and I'd imagine even better in natural light since they are, after all, sunglasses. Low light does tend to struggle a bit. You get a little bit of motion blur and jaggies and whatnot as you move around, but for the most part, it is a solid overall camera. That being said, it is a ultra wide, so keep that in mind with the lenses. Like what you're seeing, Capture
what you think is in frame, it's actually capturing a little bit more because of that ultra wide lens. It's very akin to like the 0.5x on your iPhone. It's taking more and giving you more of that wider angle view, so you capture more than you actually might think you're capturing, which is kind of jarring. And again, there's no HUD, there's no display. I'm not seeing anything crazy behind the lenses here. It's just a normal pair of sunglasses. And I want to reiterate that because when it comes to the Meta AI, which I've been testing out a little bit here, I get it. It's convenient that you can ask it any questions, like you could ask Siri or Amazon's A Word. All the other voice assistant apps, you can ask them 5+5, what's this mountain, tell me what the highest peak is, and yada, yada, yada. You can ask it kind of those trivial questions. But when it comes to actually doing things like if you want directions or you want to know where the closest thing is, it can tell you those kind of contextual clues. Hey, the Best Buy or the In-N-Out is 1.5 miles away, but it can't tell you how to get there. So it's not fully this true built-out AI or assistant, because you would still have to reference your phone and look up how to get there. It's not going to tell you to turn right here or show you a magical arrow where to make a turn at. We're not quite there, and that's not what these are. Again, these are more mixed reality lenses. It's blending in real with the kind of virtual assistant and whatnot, all through audible cues, but you're not getting any visual cues. So I just want to kind of double down there and remind folks. So that is, something to be said. Are they fully smart glasses? No, I would argue probably not to that full degree, but yes, they have smart features. But with that, ladies and gents, be sure to subscribe if you want to hear the full review of these as I continue to test these out and put them through their paces. If you have questions about these, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps out. And as always, with that, thanks for watching.